Welcome everybody to Match Catch Media. We're here today on just a lovely snake lake quite close to where I live, and we're come to have a look at just the changes for your F1 fishing as we go into the autumn. Mixed up a little bit of ground bait before the water's freezing cold. So with that, I've not fished on here for a while, but I'm not quite sure what to expect. So we're going to start off in the deepest water down the track. So I've had a bit of a plumb round, and what we are in the middle, we're at. Let's have a look. So down the track, we're fishing it. It's about 4 foot, I think. So look on the kit. Yeah, we're basically straight on 4 foot in the deepest water, just down the middle. And I'm going to start off on maggots there. And then I've just had a little poke round on the far side as well. I found 3 foot just on the shelf with not too far from the cover on that far side. And then obviously we've got that mud bank, that little hole just on the far side there. So we're at, what we on that one? We're at about 2 1/4 foot there, up against that. So a few different depths to play with really. Bait wise, like I said, maggots. I have got some casters as well, but mainly maggots I think, and micros and expanders, typical kind of autumn F1 snake lake fishing. So we'll, like I said, a few different things to try, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'll go through rigs in more detail in a bit, but dead straightforward really, as you would expect this time of year. I'm going to start off on a double red maggot, I think. It might mean that we have to go down to a single, but we'll see. And we're going to pop probably about 15 maggots or so in the pot. Wait up, what are we doing? There we go. Just give them a little dunk just to keep them in the pot. So we're just at top 5 basically, just over, basically halfway, but I'm on a slight angle. I'm just going to get the maggots in one lot, keep them nice and tight. A bit of a bite there. Okay, we'll let those maggots catch up. We'll just hold the rig out of the water. So they've got to drop down to, through 4 feet of water, so you've got to give them a chance to do that, and then we're just going to lower that in. And hopefully our double red maggot is a nice target for anything down there. So as I said, I've gone with the double red maggot just because it stands out a bit more, and it might have to be if we go down to single. Depends how fussy they are. I had a quick nosy at the match weights here lately, and they are very low. 35 to 40 pounds, which is obviously not a lot at all. Hence we're starting off nice and slow today. Perch. Oh. See if they'll let me show you. Yeah, nice little fish to catch, can't say no to that. Popping back is really cold. You want to get them down there grubbing about on that. It is silty, but we don't mind that so much. Not with maggots anyway. If it does go a bit funny later on after catching well, and sometimes they've kind of hollowed it out a little bit, so you have to just sometimes to give your depth a bit of a check. There's a bite again there now, a little fish. There's a perch again. There seems to have perch moved in, which is not what we want for F1s. Yeah, that's had it on the way down. Now, it is telling me though that they might want to feed the slightly shallower water, so and we'll see what happens. This one feels a bit bigger, but I don't know if it's Here's an F1. This TKS hybrid. This is the pink, which is absolutely perfect for fish like this. And this is what we were hoping for. There we go. Lovely, lovely golden F1. Perfect for everyone. Now, I'm going to feed again this time. I've got the same again, it's double maggots. I always, because it's only a size 18 up, the maggots are quite big, so I hook both maggots through the tip end, just so there's more hook point that's exposed. Because obviously this time of year when it's getting cold and every fish counts, so you don't want to be, masking the hook point. In any way at all. So again, exactly the same again. Those maggots in there. I'm going to leave it this time because it's already gone down. We might get liners, but just on the off chance that something's already on the bottom. So we tried it the other way before, and obviously it's taking it just as it's getting to the bottom. And we can always lift it up and drop it in again. So we'll try both ways round just to see. And also as well, if I get a lot of liners now, which I'm not doing, it'd go to show that they want to be in shallower water. And if that's the case, obviously I can go up onto the other swims that are plumbed up in 3 foot of water, but it's just another way of working out what depth they want to be in and where they want to feed. It's just a case of working it out as we go, like I say. We'll see. Hopefully get a few fish in this line, and if the bites completely stop, we'll move up into that shallower water. There is a few swirls actually, just see it the other side, look, that one's had that. So there's a few fish here, there's a few fish moving. Nice F1 again. There we go. I'm getting him back. Those little pound ones, they just curl around when you pick them up. Sorry folks, me slurping down the microphone. So there we go, tiny little bite. Typical in it when you've got a cup of tea on the go. But even like that, even whilst drinking tea, that setup's done that. So again, there we go, you see, that little change. So we fed again. We changed that shotting pattern to get down to them fish. And there we go, another F1 in there. Okay, that's just what we want again. Let's see if we can get another on this line. And I'm already thinking about that pushing up that shelf. That felt a bit foul look to me. So we're just gonna be really careful with it. And say that TKS hybrid map elastic doing its job. Let's keep everything nice and low. That's it. And spot on. Another perfect little F1. And perch again, so the perch has definitely moved in. So when this happens, it's a case of trying a different line. Obviously you could go on pellets, which would sort that out as well. Depends on what you want to do. So I think we'll have a little look. So we're just going to listen the way a little bit. There we go. We're just going to check the depth out there a little bit. Have a look in that 3 foot of water. And we're just on it there. So we're going to have a look in a 3 foot of water now, basically. Maggot line. You know, we're starting to get perch and stuff on there, so I'm not going to forget about it. I'm going to leave it for now. It's something that I could come back on later, and we'll keep going, keep a few little maggots trickling here and there. But we're going to go to expanders basically and micros. So we're just going to start with a expander. Make sure there's plenty of it on the hook. You know, hook nice and deep. I don't want too many micros, even though I've got that pot on. I'm only putting half a pot in at this stage. A lot of leaves on here at the minute. Where's my dolly butt section? There it is. See if I get that pot turned over. So let's see if we get any indications on this line. Might take a while for them to find it. A few little dinks. I'm just at the bottom of the body of the float for this line. It's a slight slope, so I could just take like 10 mil maybe off the depth. So even though the wind is pushing to the left, you can see that float drifting to the right. It's pushing it up the slope. It slopes away just on the left hand side. Yeah, I mean that was a weird bite and just didn't feel that. I think it was just slightly over depth. So, you notice change of elastic on this line. I've gone with the next one down, which is even softer, just because in these short kits it powers up a lot quicker. And this 8 to 10, especially on a puller kit, is still absolutely perfect. Nice and soft as well. go. You can see that stamp of fish difference on pellets. I'll try and hold this one up for you if we can. It's feeding in the right place in this wind. There it goes. Actually got a fish there that's taking it on a drop. Yeah, I didn't know what to say, there's no way that's got to be, that's in the mouth. So I'm not going to feed again because obviously we've just put pellets in, so I'll just get another expander on. I'm going to do two things. Check my depth because I had a more positive shotting pattern. So this is quite important actually. If you're unsure, it just makes sense to just to check it. Obviously I knocked an inch off it before and I think we've got a little bit on the bottom. So it doesn't take much just to whiz back. Pop that plummet back on. See, we're absolutely bob on there. Okay, it's always worth a check. So happy with that. Say a finer hook length if we're struggling, maybe is it worth a go. I'm going to just alter that shotting pattern again now. So like I did before, just going to bring that staggered down to 1 inch intervals across the whole section. So again, if in doubt, you're getting a few indications, a few little funny kind of movements, it's worth just popping that plummet on and just checking it out. And I think for Dave Wills, with the wind pushing through the way it is, we're just getting rubbish and debris sort of hitting the line as it's pushing through, and that's giving us some of those weird indications. But at least now it's not it's not your depth, it's not that they've dug out the silt, it's right, where it is right. It's just a case of being a bit patient. Now, quite interesting that I got that response. It was a bit more positive. Yeah, it's a lovely F1 again. Just what we were after. So again, it just goes to show that little changes at this time of year can just result in another bite, especially when the water's clear, starting to go clear, and some of these fish are a little bit cagey. There we go. So there's that much rubbish coming through the swim. A little dink again and then we're off straight away. Fabulous, just what we want, that is. one's decided to wrap itself up. So it's amazing, isn't it? Just those few changes. A change in shotting pattern, so it's a bit more positive. Switch to maggots, but feed him with a few maggots and some micros. I'm going to feed again. I just try to not feed him more, just the same, just a little bit more often. Because I think that's what you get, that instant response. Exactly what I was after. You have to take your time as well with these short kits, because the elastic powers up so quickly. If you sit back too fast, you just pull everything too hard, and you can pull out these fish. This is a lovely fish. Perfectly lip hooked. That's why I will hold that one up for you, if you'll let me. Perfect. So off we go again. A bit of weed on the line, it's come off, luckily. So back in again over those pellets, looking for that good quick response. Just like that. Exactly what we're after. There's no rush coming back, just take your time. It's a bit of a rush to start with, just to get them away from that far bank and all the snags that are there. But then it's just easy after that. Perfect. Let's just keep it going. Everything's set up correctly and everything's smooth. Settle that float. Those little dinks and knocks, just you don't want to foul up fish, especially this time of year, because it spooks everything off. A little bit of patience, just like that. Waiting for that little dink. Wind picked up again. So I've also talked about obviously fishing that mud line, but there's been nothing to indicate to me that they're going shallow on this 3 foot. So generally I wouldn't really push into that 2 foot. I might give it a go in a match kind of thing, but I think it could be a little bit too shallow with the water losing its colour the way it is, especially when you're catching confidently and comfortably on this line as well at the minute. This one's literally swam towards me the whole way, look. Now it's decided to fight down here. So again, this TKS elastic doing its job. It's just nice and soft. Everything's in control. Until he pops up. There we go. Again, perfectly in that top lip. Big chunky one, that. A big chunky F1. Get him back in. Get those pellets in. Straight over the top of it. Oh, indication on the way down there. So maybe they are coming up a bit shallower. Catching well enough at the minute. I don't want to go into that shallow water. Something's picked that, a bit of weed or branch or something, it's sitting up. I'm about to say it's like they've moved off a little bit, and you're gonna get that, this time of year. Little run of fish, and then you might have a bit of a wait again till you get another little run. Normal for this time of year, basically. There we go, perfect. So it's a bit slower on that line then, so I'm actually gonna go and push into that shallow water just to see what the response is like. And we need another section on as well. Pick off that one. Pop that one on. And it goes. We're still fishing on an expander, but it's a bit later in the day now, sort of 2 o'clock. Get a little bit of a look. Indication there. Little dent then, and there we go. Look, I'm surprised actually. Oh yeah, I foul up there's a scale on the hook. One at least has gone up into that shallower water, so like I say, it is always worth a look, and be nice to show you lot at home, even at this time of year when it's so cold. Still looking to try and get the 3 depths working for you. A little dink again then, is it in the mouth this time? It's important that you ship back quickly when you're fishing up against these banks. But like I said then, just take your time. Still on that short kit. So again, I've gone up to the 10 to 12 on the elastic on this one with the short kit, just because it's up against that mud line, which is just perfectly for bringing these fish under control. Which is just what we want. Bit of a stumpy, battered one this one, but still nice fish even in that 2 foot of water. There's a squirrel coming to have a look. There we go. Pellets are in. Trap set again. I have bolted up the shot this time. Just so we get that more positive bite, and that's exactly what we've got there. Look. So again, that little change just nails that expander to the bottom a bit more. Stop it from wafting about when they're moving around in that shallow water. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't sure I actually hooked that one then. It suddenly came alive. Spot on. go again. Lovely, perfect that time. Exactly what I wanted. That one. Time to talk about rigs. So it's been quite a straightforward approach really for the autumn setup. So firstly, down the track rig. All of the rig line is optimum power by map, so I've just used it in different diameters. All hook lengths are 4 inches as well, so in this case 4-inch hook length, dead straightforward, down to a size 18 hook, okay, which you can see there. And I've then got the strung out pattern just above it. You can just see that there, just an inch apart. Sometimes I've had it staggered and sometimes I haven't. I've had it more positive like this, so I've just swapped and changed it really as you go, just to see what gets the best response from the fish. So then that goes up to the float, which is, say, at 4 foot. So in this case, with it being 4 foot, it's a 4x14s Malman float. They're absolutely brilliant, these. This one's getting a bit battered now actually, but I love using these floats. They're absolutely fantastic. Carbon stem, just so that I've got that option to let it just fall through the water if I want to. I've got the same ones in the wire stem. If you're just going to go straight down to the bottom with pellets, you can do that just as easily, but that's what I've gone for today. As always, 2 number 8 back shots. Always using back shots, especially when we've got blustery wind like today. Just keeps in control of the rig and touch with the float, which is great. And then up to the elastic. So this one is the TKS hybrid in 10 to 12 on this particular one, which is brand new, perfect for this time of year actually. Again, just fantastic elastic really. It's perfect for when it needs to be. And because I'm in a full length top kit, that's why I've gone with this one today. In the shallow kits, I've gone down a bit because it's less elastic in the top kit. It's only 6 foot. So for this one, that is the 10 to 12, which is perfect. And then obviously the cad pot just on the end as well. Okay, dead straightforward for that one. And I've done duplicates basically, one of these and another one exactly the same, but just with a banded hook in case it was like a hard pellet day. So on to the one on the far shelf. So short kit for this one, and as a result, like I just said, I've used a slightly different elastic, but other than that, it's very, very similar. Exactly the same setup, essentially. No different at all. The only difference being, because I am on a 3 foot of water, I've gone with a 4x12s float, and that's the only difference. 4x12s Malman that you can see there. Okay. Other than that, exactly the same. Still with the back shot. Same before. The elastic is I've gone to the 8 to 10 in the TKS map hybrid there, just because there's only 6 foot of it in the top kit, so it powers up really, really quickly. It's nice and soft, so you're not bumping off fish. And as you can see, sometimes you catch in like tiny little roach and pairs of eyes basically and perch, right the way up to some of those bigger F1s, 2 or 3 pound in weight. So just does the job on the puller kit. Again, it's really, really ideal for it. And obviously with the wind as well, these short kits in the wind just stiffen things up keeps you in touch with your bites nice and quick, and it just makes fishing dead straightforward really. So the only difference that I've got today, and it's not really that kind of day to be honest, but I did set up one for the mud line as well. Essentially exactly the same scenario, but it's a size 16 up, not a size 18 on this one. You can just see that there. Obviously because it's fishing much shallower, the shot is all bulked down at the bottom. You can see that like that, just a four shot of stots there. Up to the float, so this is a Guru 0.3 of a gram, which I use for a lot for mudline fishing and margin stuff as well, margin work. Again back shot, and again with the same TKS hybrid elastic on. Again that's 10 to 12, sorry, same as the other ones. With it being in a short kit, again it powers up really quickly, so as long as you're hitting that bite, nice and simple, shipping back, it just makes simple fishing. The only other things I've got on the roost today, again, is duplicates. I just put a few duplicates out with it being windy. Obviously complications of filming and camera work and stuff like that. It's just easy just to swap one over for the other if I need to. So that's it, that's rigs. Couldn't be more straightforward. Let's get back to some fishing. That little run of fish there, and then it just might be, like I said, they've gone very fussy. A few little liners, which makes me just want to drop back onto that line again, the 3 foot line. Giving that long enough now. So those pellets are going down now ever so nicely. Get this in over the top. I try not to cut the leaves, I'm just trying to avoid the leaves. There we go. And that feeding again just worked nicely there. Doing circles, there we go. Got me splashed that one. There we go. It's all gone very quiet this time. Say that, an absolute thundering bite, which is what we like. The kind of indications we like. That's why the rigs are set up like they are, for that positivity. So again, it just goes to show, even though I've had a few fish on that line in the 2 foot, they're far happier. The fish just under the surface swimming about, having a mooch around. I think we're off that leaf now. go. He certainly wanted to go left, that one, didn't it? But again, these short kits and brilliant for F1 fishing. Just under control straight away. Even when they're a bit mad. Right, we'll see if we can get one more. It's been really good actually to be able to show you how just that slightly finer approach and a bit of patience and really looking at the different depths, the 4 foot, the 3 foot, the 2 foot, and what, you know, the impact here is at this time of year for your F1 fishing. It's been really good, hopefully, to be able to show you that, and how you can just, you know, really simplify. Just, it's everything dead simple, nothing complicated whatsoever. Just really simple fishing. You know, and even going across to that 2 foot, and there was a few fish there, but they wouldn't really settle. So then dropping back into the 3 again. Even if you did it on a brand new line, start a new line, rotate, you know, I would do in matches. But it just goes to show that dropping back into that 3 foot, they're at least a bit more settled. And that's what you want. You want just to follow it down and then nail it. Like that. And there we go. I think this will be one to finish on. Before all the rain comes in, I think it's looking a bit dark. Oh, there we go. Nice little pound F1 to finish on there. Fantastic. So there we go, a fabulous little look at sort of Snake Lake autumn fishing. Like I said, it's gone really cold now, and it's great just to see about how exploring those depths and swapping between just simple baits, you know, micros, expanders and maggots has been all I've used today, and swapping in those different depths of water throughout the day to keep them fish coming. It was really interesting to see. I think that to catch a few across the 2 foot, I didn't expect to catch them, you know, over there in that shallow water, but we got a few, but then as expected they wouldn't settle on it. Once we caught a few, they got a bit spooky and it just wasn't right. So it was great then to drop back onto the 3 foot line, and it happened to have been the same line, so obviously it had been left for about sort of half an hour, 40 minutes. It was good just to drop on that again and see them settle straight away, and again having a nice few fish on that. So that's just the nature of it in terms of your open fishing for F1. So just remember, balance your tackle carefully. It is getting to that time of year now you can start scaling down. Like I said, 0.15 main line for me of optimum power, down to the 4-inch hook lengths, which have been 0.11 today, size 18 and size 16. I size 16 with the expanders, size 18 with the double red maggot earlier, but still both 0.11. The only time I used slightly more was the rig on the far side, just being up against mudbank and features. That was just a little bit more heavier, so that was the 0.13 hook length with the size 16 hook. So just so you've got that pull-in power as you come away from those features. The biggest important thing today, other than the depth, has been feeding. So you can see I've talked a lot about do I feed it again, do I not overfeeding it too soon. It's really tempting to get the pot out and start putting stuff in, and you know, I think on the slightly brighter days, or when it's been milder at the moment, still this time of year, you can do that and I'll have a bit of a chew. But when you're on like heavy, you know, F1, heavily stocked F1 lakes like this one, and it's really silty, like I said, and you can see the colour dropping out, you just got to feel your way in and be a little bit more careful about how you do that in your fishing. So there we go. This has been F1 autumn fishing and a few little tactics and approaches, and I hope you've really enjoyed it. My name's Adam Shelton from Match Catch Media, and I hope to see you on the bank very soon. Take care.